It is time to ignite those dreams of our young people and empower the youth to bring their visions to life. Now, we are partnering with the After School Graduate Development Center on the Ignite Enterprise project to provide practical tools to teach young people how to build businesses and to create employment for others. In Lagos, the possibilities are endless. Èkó ò ní bàjẹ́ o.
Lagos State, in partnership with AGDC, presents Ignite, powered by First Bank and supported by Bank of Industry.
Having worked out your strategy to enter the market, one thing that can make you succeed or fail is your pricing. And your pricing is affected by how you cost your goods and your services.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
I am Oladokun Olayemi, an event decorator and a dressmaker. The little things that add to the cost of any event I decorate is one, the transportation to the venue.
Transportation of who?
The transportation of the fabric, my team, and myself to the venue of the event. Also, the transportation includes going to the bride's place or anyone that has occasion. Transportation of going there to see, to ask questions. It includes that. Another one is because I don't have fabrics, I rent fabrics. Okay. So it adds to the cost of what I'm going to charge. The taste of anyone that wants to have the event to also add to the cost. Because some people want artificial flowers, while others want natural flowers, and it is high on the side. Some want the chair cover, some don't want. Some want the table, some don't want. So it determines what I'm going to ask and what I'm going to price the person. Also, the payment of the people that will be working with me in the events determine the price. And those are the little things I put together to bring out the cost and the price of any event I'm going to decorate.
Okay, but those individual things have their own individual charges.
Yes.
So for you as a decorator, it's a service charge?
Yes.
Really? Okay. Please sit down. Just to be fair, I'm going to take one guy and I'm going to start.
Personally, what I do is most of the products I distribute are imported.
You import?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I factor in the cost of the dollar.
Okay.
The custom charges, the transportation and insurance.
And your custom charges includes what?
Ma'am?
Break down your custom charges.
The custom, that's the freight charge that they charge.
Freight is a charge on its own. You said yes, customs charges.
Yeah, that one is being handled by an agent for me.
You don't even know what it costs.
At home. But what I do is...
I deliberately asked you that question.
Okay.
Because it's a major problem.
Okay.
There are many people that import goods into Nigeria who have no clue. What, do you know the HS code of the product that you are importing?
At all, ma'am.
You don't? Yes. Do you know the duty, the specified duty category?
No.
No. Okay. So you have no idea of the components for the importation?
Yeah, because the company, the manufacturer, they send it through UPS.
Yes.
For me.
Yes.
So the only thing I do is to receive the delivery of it.
Yes.
It's a branded product.
Yes.
So my responsibility is to send the brand and whatever the companies want. I upload it to the companies over there and they forward the product to me.
Yes.
So after getting the delivery of the product,
yes,
I'll have known the cost before giving my client a particular price. So I only receive the delivery from UPS and deliver to my client.
But you pay UPS, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And so how do you know if they've charged you right or wrong?
The point is, after the company have given me an invoice, the company will include the charge of the UPS or DHL from Taiwan in the invoice.
So you just know the final charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So after doing that, and I will have given my client the price I'm offering the product. So what I do is, knowing my own price from the company, I include 35% of the product cost. The 35% I had it to as my own margin. So using that 35%, I use 5% for my own personal upkeep. The remaining 15% for the maintenance of the facilities I have, my website and other things. And the other 15%, I keep it because sometimes clients don't give you all the money to get the product they want. They only give you part of, so the 15% I keep aside for clients.
For the next job?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Now, I will come back to some of the things you said, but I wanted to hear your own stories just to make you understand that there are real issues and real problems with the way that we price. Now, the puzzle of pricing. Pricing and pricing strategy begins as a jigsaw puzzle with no picture, just a blank page and a lot of possibilities, depending on who wants to price, what product you want to price, what environment you work in, and your identified target market, which will be a function of the location of your business. It will be a function of the kind of service that you offer to your customer with the product, and so many other things. As far as pricing and pricing strategies are concerned, it's up to you to determine the pertinent factors, come to some reasonable conclusions, make appropriate decisions, and solve the pricing puzzle. But there are certain things that you need to do. Sometimes you're not competent on your own to do it, and so you ask someone who has a better analytical skill or better accounting skills to look at all the factors and help you to determine. Now, in doing that, you've got to consider many things. The picture you choose to fill, that blank page, will be shaped, influenced, or determined by many factors, including the products or services that you offer. Every product has categories. What is important is first that having identified the market, you package what you want to do towards that goal because you have a sense of the kind of price that might be acceptable to that particular market. It's the difference between looking for a shop on Awolowo Road or looking for one on Agegemoto Road. Because the market is different, the price acceptable and chargeable is also different, and all of the preparatory factors will ultimately affect the final price. Do you understand what I'm saying? The guy who imports by UPS or DHL is different from the guy who imports by container. Because the cost he will use to import 50 pieces by DHL is probably less than the cost of 120-foot container. The only thing that will happen to the one with the container is he needs a lot more money to buy a larger volume. So he's tying up money for much longer, but he reduces his own cost of importation. And because he's importing by container as well, if he's a right playing guy, he would also pay the rights. Because he will open the firm, he'll probably pay the right duty and all of that and deliver his product to the market at a much lower price. Now, you have the authority to determine your own pricing strategy and structure, but you also carry the burden of the decisions you make and the directions that you take. That's why I'm talking about market segmentation, understanding your consumer, knowing exactly where you want to go. Even before you get to the price, there are decisions that you will make that will ultimately affect what you do. So you start planning or thinking about the kind of price even before you sell the first product. It is part of the process even from the beginning. Most people generally leave it until they're faced with the product, and then they begin to think about the price.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
What do I like? I like what I do. I like going on holiday with my family. And I like my car. I like gadgets. And I like my bank.
If your bank were us, you would like us too. Since 1894, we have built a strong and stable financial institution based on insightful local know-how, global reach, and a commitment to deliver to you world-class innovative solutions. First Bank, truly the first.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.
There's a rule in pricing for me that is critical. It's the rule of fairness. And whatever process or route that you follow, you must always be in a position to defend and justify your price with that rule. So at the end of the day, which is why I said to him, okay, you're offering the same training product, but you have 3 classifications. Fair. But within the 3 classifications, what separate values have you created that can support the differentiated pricing? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you look at international hotels, you will see some rooms that will be essentially the same. But there'll be some rooms that they will tell you that once you book this room, you have access to the club lounge. In the club lounge that you have access to for booking this room, which you are paying a higher price to, same bed, same everything, same square meter, in that lounge, you can go in and have a drink 24 hours of the day. No problem. There's a business center there. You do not have to go to the business center downstairs and pay for the service. There are computers and free internet for the people that are in club rooms. So they're free services, or because you are in a club type room, you get free beverage delivered to you every morning. So if you start arguing that I paid more, somebody will tell you, but you also get this benefit. So that justifies your price because you have planned for it, and the rule of fairness is still established such that somebody does not come back to you to say you're extorting or taking advantage of some other people. Are you following me? Remember that the price for a particular item can potentially draw your prospects closer or push them away. Price is critical. Price can be a factor that makes people consider you a man of integrity or not. In the environment, people think that it's business. People will tell you that you're being smart. People will tell you that it's for profit. But at the end of the day, the way you price your goods or your service goes farther than that. Eventually, it affects your personality and your integrity. And people will trust you or not based on the price. Assuming that any particular product has mass audience appeal to begin with, there's a general correlation between price of a unit and the number of units sold. And therefore, when you're determining your price, one of the things you will also have to consider is the volume of the product, which affects what she was saying about the notepad. But you see, part of the problem is this. If you don't understand how you are arriving at your price, and you're determining your own price because the market is selling their price at $350, it is possible that the man who feeds the market the product that they're selling at $350 is actually selling that product to the market at $200. That the people who are reselling in the market are the ones selling at 350. Because, and also, if the guy is feeding 20 markets, it says it's producing large volume. And based on volume, his cost reduces because he's maximizing every sheet of his paper because he can produce so much. Now, the risk to you at your price and the quantity you produce is that the day that guy decides, why am I only selling to the market? Why don't I do exactly what you do and feed the schools? He will take the product into the school at far less than the market price and your price, and you'll be out of business. So pricing can also help you to determine if you should be in the business at all or the strategy for the business. Because whilst it might look good that she's producing herself, it might not be efficient. If she understands her pricing well, it is possible that what she should really be doing is looking for the guy that feeds the market. Do you understand? And buying from him, from his mass production, those that are branded for her to sell. Because the core production will be the same and its cost can still be saved. The little extra will be from the branding, which can maybe just the cover. And so her total cost buying from him will be far less than her cost of producing herself. She will still have the business of feeding the schools and wherever it is she's selling to, but she's feeding off a major manufacturer of the product, and she'll probably be more profitable and also continue to exist as a business and be more competitive. See, we're talking about pricing and we're also talking about costing. But it also aligns to your business strategy. And there are no emotions in this. Because sometimes you have no business producing. Because for the volume that you can move, producing makes the business unprofitable. And then you will be struggling and you will now compete with people who by their cost of production can knock you out of the business in 2 seconds. When all you need to do is change your strategy and feed off them and continue to exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? The higher the price, the less the units you will sell. The lower the price, the more the units you will sell. And that is why people who sell luxury goods are not looking to sell large numbers. In fact, they do not produce large numbers. I tell you that categorically. What is important is that are they profitable as a business when you compare the numbers they sell and the price at which they sell. Now, doesn't make them more profitable than an Eleganza, who probably only produces the cheapest biro, the cheapest slippers, and the cheapest cooler, but knows that every biro that he produces at 5 kobo, I don't know the price of biro, by the way, I'm just picking something off my head, at 5 kobo, his profit in the 5 kobo is only 2 naira or 2 kobo, but however, he intends to sell 100 million pieces. And 100 million times 2 kobo will become what? You do the maths. Economics graduates. Whatever. I want you to follow the principle and not get lost in the numbers. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I'm saying to you that when you sell at a high price, it means that you want to sell fewer numbers. So it's part of you determining in advance who your customer is. And once you know your customer, you know the price your customer can afford. Now, I'm going to keep repeating the issue of your integrity and your price. Because you will lose some customers for life. And when I say for life, it means that every other place where you will meet them and they have the opportunity to be a blessing to you, they will block you. Because of the integrity or lack of it that your pricing approach at one point that they have encountered you would have demonstrated. So in your pricing, it is important that you get it right and you get your strategy right. So if you know that you want to sell only few pieces, you must add value. It's not the price that you sell that is the issue. It's what you are selling, how you're selling, and the fairness and the integrity behind the price. That's why I said it's a blank page. But there are many things you must begin to put on the page that will then determine where you can go with your price. Price has a part to play, but price does not necessarily determine where I'm buying from or who I'm buying from. Because a lot of people miss the point that price comes back to the character of the individual. The rule of fairness and the proof of integrity is highly affected by the issue of pricing. But we're very careless about it because we tend to take our pricing policy from our environment. Oh, the woman down there is selling at 400 naira. I cannot be seen to sell at less than 400 naira. And sometimes, even when the price is not profitable for our business, just to compete with our neighbor, we will go to that price and we'll begin to make losses in our business and end up killing the business. It's more than how much you sell and how much you take. It's about all the planning, the kind of product, the way you sell, the customer you're going to sell to. So there is a lot that you've got to put on your blank page before you even get to is 400 naira or 500 naira. It is a byproduct of having done all the other things right. Which means that the pricing of the product is the character of the seller, because half the time your consumers don't know that much in terms of the technical details of what you sell. But if you know what you're selling and you're confident about it, you will stand and you will defend it and you stand with your price. And if they say we're going, you will let them go. Because what I have said will prove to be true. And once they find it to be true, they will believe me and you make more profit from such customers.
Ignite, from dreams to reality.